Imagine for a second that you are a tiger in a zoo. You have a clean cage, 3 meals a day, and absolutely zero predators. On the surface, it looks like you have reached the peak of financial freedom. You do not have to work, and you do not have to hunt. But here is the cold, hard truth. You have lost your claws, you have lost your instinct, and most importantly, your life is now entirely in the hands of the zookeeper. If they forget to feed you, or if the system breaks down, you die in a gilded cage because you forgot how to survive in the wild. This is the exact trap millions of Americans are walking into under the name of the FIRE movement, or early retirement. You are being taught to pinch pennies, live in a van, and pour every cent into index funds just so you can quit your job at 30. But stop for a moment and look at the people who actually run the world. Why does Warren Buffett still read financial reports for 8 hours a day at 95 years old? Or why is Elon Musk famous for sleeping on the factory floor during critical production crunches, even when he has enough money to buy 10 private islands and never work again? It is absurd if you think about it. Why are the people who can buy the entire world refusing to retire, while you, someone who is likely still paying off student loans, are desperate to leave the game as fast as possible? The brutal reality is that the elite know something you do not. Work is not a prison. Work is the tool they use to maintain ownership and control over the world you live in. Let us talk about the cage called the 401k, or passive index funds. Financial gurus tell you this is the safest path to heaven. The truth is, when you dump your money into these funds, you are handing the keys of your destiny to giants like BlackRock and Vanguard. They use your hard-earned money to buy up massive shares in every major corporation. They use your money to vote in boardrooms, shape government policy, and dictate the direction of the global economy. And what do you get in return? You get some digital numbers dancing on a screen and a vague promise that you will be taken care of 30 years from now. You think you are investing, but in reality, you are just renting back your own survival from the people who actually own the assets. You are walking into the zoo and hoping the zookeeper stays nice forever. Think about the psychological mechanism here. This is what I call intellectual filtering. The elite actually want you to believe in the dream of early retirement. Why? Because they want you to stop competing for resources. Every smart, ambitious brain that decides to retire and live a minimalist life is one less competitor for them. If you are sitting on a beach, you are not building the next rival to Amazon. You are not buying up prime real estate. You are not filing patents. You are voluntarily stepping off the field, leaving all the high-level opportunities for them to scoop up without a fight. They want a society of passive consumers who stay happy with a tiny fixed income, while they continue to accumulate the real power. I know what you are thinking right now. You are exhausted. The corporate grind in America is soul-crushing, and inflation is eating your paycheck alive. The dream of moving to a quiet town and living a simple, minimal life feels like the only way out. But let us get real about the math. In the United States, a single medical emergency or a week in the hospital for a surprise illness can wipe out your entire life savings in a heartbeat. Healthcare costs in 2026 are rising faster than any interest rate your bank will ever give you. $2 million sounds like a lot of money today. But with the way the dollar is being devalued, 20 years from now, that might barely cover a year in a decent nursing home or a single major surgery. Retiring early only to spend the rest of your life terrified of a hospital bill or a spike in property taxes is not freedom. It is a planned descent into a state of total vulnerability. So, if the system is a trap, what is the solution? To find the answer, we have to look at how the elite actually build their claws. Look at someone like Naval Ravikant. He is a legendary investor who changed the way people think about wealth in Silicon Valley. Naval does not tell people to save money just to quit and do nothing. Instead, he talks about the power of leverage and specific knowledge. Leverage is what makes you a predator in the economic jungle. It comes in 4 forms: labor, capital, code, and media. Most people only ever use labor, which means they sell their time. That is the least effective way to get rich. The elite use capital, which is money working for them, but they also use code and media, because those things work for you while you sleep, and they do not require anyone's permission to start. Naval AS philosophy is that you should build a life where you are the owner of your work. not a tenant of a corporation. This distinction is everything. Saving to retire is the mindset of someone who hates what they do and wants to escape. Accumulating to own is the mindset of someone who wants to play the game at the highest level. An owner does not fear inflation because they own the assets that produce cash, and they have the power to raise prices whenever the market shifts. They own the claws that allow them to hunt no matter how the weather changes. The real way out is not running away from work, but changing your position in the game. Stop saving just to hoard depreciating paper in a bank account that the government can tax or inflate away. Use that capital to invest in yourself. I am talking about building a personal brand, learning to write code, or acquiring real estate in high-demand areas. These are things that give you a seat at the table. In a world where AI can replace millions of basic jobs, the only way to stay free is to have specific knowledge, which is the stuff you cannot be trained for. If the world can train you, it can replace you with an AI. But if you have a unique set of skills combined with ownership of a platform or a business, you are a hunter. You are the tiger in the wild. The elite keep working because they understand that life only has meaning when you have the power to impact the world. Their move to encourage you to retire early is actually a form of social control. If the brightest minds are lulled into a dream of laziness, there will be no one left to challenge the status quo. Once you choose to go to the garden and stop hunting, you have effectively removed yourself from the list of people who can change the rules. You become a bystander in your own life. Let us go back to the tiger metaphor one last time. The tiger in the wild might face hunger, it might get scarred, and it has to fight every single day to protect its territory. But it is the master of its own soul. It has sharp claws and the power of a predator. The elite are the tigers in the wild. They accept the risk to keep the control. If you choose the traditional path of early retirement, you are the tiger in the zoo. You might feel safe for a moment, but your fate is entirely in the hands of the people who hold the food supply. America was built by people who took pride in their work and saw creation as a calling, not by people looking for an exit strategy at 30. Wake up, sharpen your claws, and stay in the game. Do not ever volunteer for a cage just because the zookeeper promised you a quiet life. Keep your hunting instinct sharp, because that is the only path to real, lasting freedom. Freedom is not for those who quit. It is for those who are brave enough to own their destiny and never let anyone else manage their life. Live like a tiger in the wild, because even in a storm, at least you are free.